Welcome to yet another of Lucent's new player tutorials. This time around I'm covering the basics of attack damage carry, commonly referred to as the ADC. This is one of the 5 main roles in League of Legends. I'll be going over the basic theory behind ADCing, some playstyles and builds, and how you can improve your ADC mechanics and effectiveness. I've tried to include information for both new and experienced players as well. Let's start with the basics. Your job is to do damage. I found a pretty good hierarchy of importance for how to best do damage while you're in lane. Number 1, focus on staying alive. If you're dead, you're not doing much. Number 2, farm creep. Keep farming and farming, early, mid, and late game. This will help you get items faster, push down objectives, and create opportunities for ganks. Third on your list should be watching for opportunities to get some kills. While kills are great, about 10 CS equals 1 kill. If you put kills above CS, you will miss a lot of gold and leave yourself vulnerable to ganks. Once you leave lane, your priority is still to stay alive, but you need to be involved in teamfights as much as possible. Normally, you'll be paired up with a support in the bottom lane. ADCs like to think they are important and strong, but you rely heavily on your support to lock down the enemy or buff you up. Be sure to ward when you can to help out your support. If you make your support mad, you're gonna have a bad time. As the game progresses, you'll be invaluable in teamfights. You can split push and just wreak havoc in general. In teamfights, you rely heavily on your team. Remember that. Now that you know the basic theory of what it means to ADC, let's move on to strengths and weaknesses of the role. As an ADC, you are very squishy. Even the tankier ADCs, like Graves, will still die quickly. What little tank you have is generally in your ability to lifesteal. The more damage you deal, the more health you regain, the longer you live. Your positioning can either be a strength or a weakness. Positioning is so incredibly important, especially in teamfights. Generally, you want to stand as far as you can behind the main line in order to harass and destroy safely. If you move out of position or you get caught off guard, you will die quickly while providing no help to your team. Use your range to your advantage. Poke, harass, and push from a distance. Some champions like to be up close and personal. Others, like Caitlyn, like to pick you off at range. If you're Jinx, you really just don't care. You poke from a distance, you get in close, doesn't matter, you get the kill. When playing against a long-range ADC, be very conscious of how hard you are being poked. Continue grabbing all the farm you can while trying to stay safe. Many new players have trouble regulating the lane. Let me explain what I mean by this. As an ADC, you want to kill as much as you can as fast as you can, right? The answer is no most times. Pushing too hard too early will leave you dangerously exposed for jungle ganks. Letting yourself kill the minions as fast as you can will most likely cut down on your CS. You'll miss a lot of it. Freezing the lane can be indispensable. While freezing the lane, you really only get the last hit on the minions. This is a very useful skill. If you feel you are pushed too far or you are losing badly to their ADC, try freezing the lane. Be close enough to hit minions, but either press S or continue clicking around so you can keep moving. Alright, how to ADC check. Let's get into your build a little bit. Runes and masteries are pretty straightforward. Arrange something like this for masteries. Using lifesteal runes makes laning so much easier, and I highly recommend it. A solid build start for an ADC is a Doran's Blade, Health Potion, and Warding Totem. If you're dominating, buy a BF Sword on first back. If you need extra sustain, buy a Vampiric Scepter. Your build order should look something like this: Doran's Blade, Vampiric Scepter or BF Sword, Berserker's Greaves, Bloodthirster, Static Shiv or Phantom Dancer, Infinity Edge and Last Whisper. Depending on the team, you'll change the order of that. Guardian's Angel and Mercurial Scepter are good last items. Blade of the Ruin King, or Bork, is a great idea for some champions. Just remember to use the active. A Bork is extremely useful against teams with high HP. With a champion like Vayne, grab a Blade of the Ruin King first. As you get a feel for your ADC, you'll be able to alter the build depending on the game. Knowing how to build is nice, but how can I get better at ADCing? Here's a couple of tips. Watch the LCS and higher elo games. By watching the pros and challengers, you'll see new build options, strategies, and learn how to effectively combo your skills together. Their knowledge of the game's mechanics will benefit you immensely. Practice getting CS. The easiest way to do this is to start a custom game with only you as the ADC you want to practice. Play as normal, focusing on getting as much CS as you can in the first 10 minutes. A perfect score is 110 minutes. By repeating this, you will see your PvP CS increase dramatically. I still do this every now and again if I get rusty. My third piece of advice is don't give up. You will have bad games, your support or jungler will suck, but just keep on it, and be sure to never blame your support if you lose. Here's a list of the traditional ADCs. I've highlighted my favorites and some of the easier ADCs to play. ADCs are as follows: Ashe, Caitlyn, Corki, Draven, Ezreal, Graves, Jinx, Lucian, Misfortune, Quinn, Sivir, Tristana, Twitch, Varus, and Vayne. Feel free to check out my other tutorials to learn more about the other roles you can play. As you go out, remember your hierarchy of importance. Stay alive, farm, and get kills. Keep your squishiness and strengths in mind and build appropriately. Keep practicing and practicing and you'll get there. And until next time, see you in the Rift.